Hey, I'm Sheniece Charway, and welcome to Battles and Blessings, the podcast where we take a deep dive into the extraordinary journeys of today's most influential voices. I created this podcast because I believe that everyone's lives, just like the biblical figures, are marked by both battles and blessings. On this podcast, you'll hear some powerful stories that will challenge and uplift you. All right, let's dive into today's episode. Hi guys, welcome to Battles and Blessings. I'm very, very excited about today's guest. I'm so excited for you guys to hear his story. A lot of you guys probably know who he is, but for those who don't know, I'm going to give you a bit of an intro into today's guest. So today we're honoured to have one of the most dynamic and influential voices in African music. We have Larizzle. Known for his passion for showcasing the vibrant rhymes of African music and Afrobeats, Larizzle has become a global ambassador for these genres, from his sold-out debut show at London's Jazz Cafe to a groundbreaking world DJ tour across 5 continents. His journey is nothing short of extraordinary. Larizzle's viral Culture FM mixes and collaborations with the likes of Kool and the Gang and Neo highlights his commitment to innovation and connecting global audiences with African-inspired sounds. Let's dive into the remarkable story of the one and only Larizzle. How are you?
You have gassed me. Thank you. That one intro. Thank you very much. I'm great. Honoured to be here. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. I'm so excited about this.
Me too.
God is great. So I'm glad that we can sit down. It's so funny. So I feel like I see you all the time, but we never get to sit down. I think we did a panel a couple of years ago.
Yes, in Brixton.
Yes. Oh my God, that was ages
That was years ago.
Yeah. And I think that was the first time we probably were able to kind of discuss and talk.
Yes.
So I'm really honoured that I can now actually sit down with you and you can share your story and your testimony to so many people, because I think it's going to touch a lot of us.
Thank you.
So I'm excited. Firstly, when we were doing research, we couldn't find anything about Larizzle before your success, right?
Okay.
It feels like you just came and you were just successful straight away. Obviously, that's not the case.
Yeah.
So tell me about, firstly, I don't even know your real name. Do you know how it's funny that?
Really?
No.
It's Larry.
Okay, great. So who was Larry as a child?
Larry as a child was a pretty shy boy. Yeah. Very excitable. He loved music. Okay. He loved to entertain and perform. So saying back in the earliest context would be, say, I was born and raised in London.
Yeah.
But when I was 2 years old, I stayed with my grandparents in Ghana, in Accra. And my grandfather was a chief of his village.
I love that.
And a police chief in the capital, Accra. So, my granddad was very fond of me. And so much so that he'll get replica outfits of his police uniforms and kentes. Oh. So we're both matching every time we go out together.
That is so cute.
And we'd go to his village, and obviously him being the chief, there's always like a big sort of welcome for him. And when I'd get there, all the local village children would come to greet me in particular. And what I would then do was get out a pencil, use it to mimic a microphone and pretend to be Michael Jackson. And dance to Billie Jean. So entertainment's always been sort of within me. But yeah, outside of that, I was a shy little boy.
So you kind of knew that you were going to be in music in some capacity?
Yeah.
What music did you listen to? I guess obviously you were in Ghana. Afrobeats is Afrobeats now, but obviously we had High Life and everything.
Yeah.
What music was your grandfather playing around you?
A lot of Motown, a lot of soul. Obviously High Life was there as well. Hip Life hadn't come through yet, but a lot of soul. And I was drawn to Michael Jackson. I was obsessed with Michael Jackson's music at the time. I remember watching Thriller. I wasn't meant to, because obviously the music video was quite,
Yeah, scary.
I was hiding behind the sofa, but I watched it through. Like I stuck it out. And I loved the music. I just loved him as an artist. And yeah, old school 80s, 70s Motown soul was,
I love that. Music. And then when did you move back then? So you were Ghana so you moved them when you were 2.
So 2, yeah.
When did you come back to London?
So came back around 5 in time to start school.
Okay.
So yeah, back in time for primary school, so at 5 years old. And there was a bit of a culture shock for me. So obviously you're used to the tropical weather, being spoilt as, the grandson of a chief.
Of course.
And then coming back to, cold London. I think I remember the first memory I sort of have was it being dark at around 3-4 p.m. and me not knowing what was happening.
What?
Threw
Where
me
am
off.
I?
What's going on? And yeah, starting school and speaking English, because obviously I was speaking fluent Tree a lot then.
Lucky for some.
Yeah. I mean, it's faded a bit now. I can only do a little bit, but yeah, adapting to that. Yeah, it was a bit of a culture shock, but we adapted and we began enjoying it.
Nice. Are you your only child?
No, I've got a younger sister.
Okay. Did she go to Ghana with you as well?
She didn't know. She was 6 years younger than me.
Okay.
Yeah, so she came much later. When I was actually not too long after I came back. Actually, when I was 6, she was born.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you went to Ghana and then came back.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So then in London, did you still have a passion for music? So obviously you come from Ghana and you come to London, and it's like, okay, you had the pen with your mic, with your granddad. When did the passion continue? Let me say this differently. When you came back to London, when did you know, okay, right, I actually want to pursue music? I know we did some research and you obviously started when you were at university.
Yeah.
But before that, were you like going to gigs? Were you playing instruments? Were you trying to DJ? Was there any of those things that were happening before you got to university?
It wasn't actually. It was a case of me obviously listening to a lot of music, enjoying a lot of music. I remember, say, when I got to high school, I was really into a lot of the R&B, hip hop. I was a big fan of the Neptunes and Timbaland. They're big inspirations of mine. I love B2K and the whole street dance culture that they brought as well. I remember You Got Served, going and seeing that in the cinema. Incredible. I was into a lot of street dance. Me and my friends would try and, battle in the playgrounds and stuff like that. And I remember we had a talent show, and that was around that time was when I got into singing as well.
You can sing?
I could sing. Don't make me do anything on this microphone, please. Please, Sheniece.
You're lucky. Okay, no. I'm going to allow you today because I was about to say you better do a 1, 2.
So yeah, that was the time I could sing to a degree. I remember I was a big fan of 112, and I used to mimic one of the members, Slim, and his voice. That kind of, that high, kind of almost croaky a bit. And I used to sing. And this talent show we had, I remember performing, we did 2 songs.
Yeah.
We did I Need a Girl by, he's going through some stuff right now. But that artist, I Need a Girl Part 2.
Yeah.
And Casey and JoJo All My Life. So I performed both those songs. The performances went really well, and people really thought I should pursue this thing, this artistry of, being an artist myself and whatnot. And then it wasn't until uni, and then that all changed. And I went to our ACS, Afro-Caribbean Society, for the first time in first year. And I saw these 2 DJs just killing it. And I was like, wow, because growing up with Ghanaian parents, I didn't go to any clubs pre-18. Okay. So it wasn't until university that I started clubbing, essentially.
Wow.
I went to house parties, but there wasn't really a DJ at the time. There was, music playing and whatnot from, CDs and playlists and things, but there was no DJ as such. And this was the first sort of exposure I had to DJs and how they control the crowd and the energy they brought. And I was like, I want to do that. And that was it.
Wow.
That was where it started.
So how did you learn how to DJ?
So I befriended those 2 guys I saw.
Smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
One of them had vinyl decks in his room. So it was a case of after lectures, I was going around to just practice. Yeah. He had a lot of old school UK garage records.
Yeah.
So it was mixing and practicing on them. I think he had some jungle records and stuff as well, but it was mainly garage that I started with. And then when I go back to my room, at the time they had just released Virtual DJ, which is software for the computer.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So that was how I was sort of practicing in my own time, learning how to beat match, if you will, and then practicing physically with vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, as and when I could. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first gig then?
Yeah. It was in the ACS, that same event that they were doing.
Yeah.
So it was with them, and they let me do I think it was like a 15-minute set.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
Just 15 minutes?
Just to get my feet wet, you know, my very first set, they were like, yeah, do a little 15 minutes before us. I was like, okay, cool. And yeah, it wasn't the smoothest of sets because we were still learning.
Yeah.
There was a bit of clanging that happened. But I remember one transition went down really well. And it was with it's that song by Ludacris, The Potion.
Oh.
Yeah. I mixed that into, so I can't remember what I mixed into, but I remember that transition was crisp. People were like, hey! And I was like,
this has got something here.
Yeah, that was my first taste, if you will.
I love that. And now you're a global sensation and you're DJing everywhere. You actually were one of the first people to introduce Funky House to Slovenia, which is insane. How was that for you?
That was surreal.
Yeah.
I remember the booking came through on Facebook.
Good old Facebook.
Good old Facebook. And I thought it was, spam. I didn't think it was real.
Yeah.
But he was genuinely serious, and he flew me out there, and it was actually a crowd. It was a small crowd, but it was a crowd that came to see it and take in the sounds. And, it's not too far from house. Yeah. So they could relate and enjoy. And yeah, it was a good set. And it really taught me about the possibilities of doing more with this DJing thing outside of the UK, you know. And that's when I started to really want to do the DJing side.
I guess you did the same thing with Iron Apple and Afrobeats. Yes. And obviously Iron Apple is more, it's not that sort of music. So how is it having both of these moments to be like, okay, well, I'm bringing my culture to spaces that aren't usually, the culture's not usually there. How is that for you?
When you're in it at the time, you don't think of that. You're just like, you're just thinking, let me showcase this, because there are people that were there that were enjoying it. I know there were people from Africa that were there as well, from different backgrounds and what have you. And I thought, let me do something outside of the box that will, one, entertain them, and two, change the vibe a little, because there was a lot of UK funky being played at these sets, some of the same songs over and over again. I was like, how can I be different? Okay, let me try some, classic Afrobeats, see how that goes down. I went down a storm. And it's only in retrospect that was like, oh, wow, I was the first to, and it was someone else that actually told me.
Oh, okay. So you didn't actually know.
I didn't actually know. I was just there to, try and entertain. And then someone said, oh, you're the first to actually play it. This has never been played out here before. I was like, no way, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good on you, because
thank you.
You're just doing that because it was your passion, not realising that you've created a whole new space.
Yeah.
How was it DJing, I guess? How long have you been DJing for now?
We're talking 18 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you feel like DJing has changed from now until then? Because obviously we've got socials now, people are doing mixes.
Yeah.
Obviously you mentioned your culture of phone mixes, which always go viral. What's the biggest change you've seen from then to now?
Just to become more digital.
Yeah.
When I started, vinyl was still quite popular as a means of DJing. When I started becoming more prominent around the time, it was CDs. CDs are essentially extinct now from, like, I remember having to actually burn music onto CDs on my laptop. And then writing down the name of each track and sliding it in my CD wallet. So literally in the club, you're flicking through like this, picking a CD out, putting it in the CDJ. It was still the same similar Pioneer CDJs, but they had the CD slots, and I believe now they've taken them away. So you're sliding in every song, choosing a song, and there's that pressure. I kind of miss it in the sense, because there was that pressure to find the song
Yeah.
Read the song you wanna play. Get the other CD out. Put the CD in. Select it and mix it all before the other song finishes. So there was that.
How did you do that?
You just do it. You just do it. You just get used to it. And I suppose now you've got software like Serato, which I use.
Yeah.
I love Serato. And obviously everything's on the computer already. You can connect the computer to the decks, and everything's a bit easier to access. And of course, you can put this music onto USBs and just pop the USBs in the CDJs now. And settings like the sync feature as well.
Yeah.
That automatically beat match for you has made it a bit more easier and streamlined, and has allowed more DJs to be able to do it as well.
Yeah.
So I'd say those are the main ways in which it's sort of changed.
Okay. So when you came out of uni, did you go straight into DJing?
So I did my undergrad and then my master's. So my studies were completely unrelated to DJing, by the way.
What did you study?
I studied... Being from Ghanaian parents, of course.
Oh,
it has to be one of the three, right? So it's either law, finance, or science.
I feel like you did finance,
medicine.
right?
I did science.
Oh, you did science.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I did biomedical science undergrad.
Wow.
And then from there, I went to do a master's in molecular medicine and cancer research.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had a deal with my dad. He said...
not a deal.
So you want to do this DJing, you have to finish your studies, get your master's, and then you can go and do your DJing thing.
So that's what you did?
So that's what I did. I got the master's. I did the DJing. For a period, I actually went back into the science profession after a while.
Did you?
Yeah, to do it alongside the DJing. And that was at a period I met my now wife. Girlfriend at the time, and my mum whispered in her ear and was like, "Oh, Jara, can you get Larry to, get back into the science, do some science work, and build a future for you, the two of us?" And it worked.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long have you and your wife been together now?
We've been together 15 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she's such an angel. I just lucky enough to met her. She seems so sweet.
Yeah. I'd say she's the biggest catalyst for all the blessings I've had in this profession, in this musical profession, in life generally. She's made me a better human being in so many ways. I'm so blessed.
That is so sweet.
Thank you.
So when did you meet your wife at uni?
After I just finished. She was still at uni.
Yeah.
She was studying psychology. So we met in central London in Leicester Square.
Oh, the good old days.
The good old days. And we were both at the same event. And by chance, we were both at the same event. And by chance, she and her friends were trying to get a taxi home afterwards. Yeah. This was in Leicester Square, a club called Penthouse.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember Penthouse?
Yeah. Oh my. Many nights at Penthouse. Oh my gosh.
And yeah, we were both there, but obviously we didn't meet inside the club. She was there with her friends having a good time or whatever. And it wasn't until after the event where she was waiting to get a taxi home. Yeah. And the taxi stood them up. They were waiting outside the McDonald's on the corner. Yeah. Specifically. And I was with a mutual friend that knew them.
Yeah.
And he went over and spoke to them and said, "Oh, you guys okay?" And they were like, "Oh, taxi stood us up." And then he was like, "Oh, let me ask my friend and see if we can take you guys home." Yeah. So he came and asked me. I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's go." And then we were walking, and then I started speaking to her just by chance, and it was from then really. And then when we're speaking in the car ride, I think we went to Bagel King before I dropped them home. And we were talking in Bagel King as well, and I was like, "Yeah, I like this girl. I do like this girl." So I asked for a BB pin. Remember those?
Wow. Old school.
Old BB school.
Gotta see when she's online. You know. I love that. That is so sweet. So I feel like one of the things I just picked up on, which I thought was so nice, that she's a catalyst to all your blessings. And I know we've spoken about God and everything. Did you always have faith in your life, or was it when you were older?
I always had faith. I feel like more so when I was growing up, it was more following the lead of my parents by going to a Catholic church. Yeah. I went to 2 Catholic schools. I was an altar boy at my church for 12 years.
Oh.
Yeah. So But I feel like my faith got stronger as I got older when my wife and I bought our first home.
Yeah.
And we hadn't gone to church for a while because it was more of a thing where I was sort of going because the family has sort of led on it, and it was just sort of by obedience, if you will.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I had a period of not going to church and we were in our new home and, you know, we felt settled and everything, but there was always like a niggling feeling in the back of my mind of, you know, something's missing here, something's missing here. I thought, oh, we need to go to church. And, you know, my wife echoed that as well. So we started looking around, seeing local churches in the area, and we stumbled across a local Baptist church that was 5 minutes away from us.
Yeah.
We went to went to a mass there, and that was it. We were hooked. They're becoming a beautiful church community for us. We're essentially Baptists now.
Wow.
And we go as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
And the pastor there, Pastor David, he's been so great to us. Looked after us at our lowest points as well. Really came and supported us. Really tough time. And the whole church community that go there, everyone that goes, it's just so great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you touched on some of the low parts that you've been through. I firstly want to say thank you so much for trusting me to discuss this part of your life that I know is so important to you, and it's going to touch a lot of people.
Yeah.
So you obviously have a record label.
Yeah.
And it's obviously, for people that don't know, it's actually named after your late daughter.
Yes.
Do you want to kind of discuss what the whole premise of the label is, what happened, and like how you got through that hard time?
So the premise of the label is that the label's called Lara Records. Yeah. And it's in memory of our first daughter, my wife and I's first daughter, called Lara, who was our miracle baby, our blessing, a true blessing from God. She was. It was at a period of our lives where so much was happening. I remember it was 2014. I just proposed to my now wife, Lara. 2015, we bought our first home. 2016, we got married. 2017, we were blessed with Lara. Lara came literally almost straight away as soon as we got married, and literally conceived on our honeymoon. She came in 2017. Unfortunately, she only stayed with us for 2 years and 9 months. Yeah, she had a health condition. But she did so much more than the doctors predicted. Pre-birth, they were telling us to, offering us to terminate the pregnancy. Of course, we didn't want to, because we wanted to give her, we knew God had other plans for her, and she had a beautiful life. She far exceeded their expectations. She came, she's had a short life, but an impactful life. She touched so many people. She was all about love. She loved music, loved her family, loved her friends. That's everyone she touched. She touched a lot of people. Yeah. So yes, she passed in 2020, just before lockdown. It was a really tough time, but we are so thankful for family, because in Uganda tradition, if there is a passing, everyone comes around the home until the funeral. The family really held us, and that's my wife's side of the family, and my family were obviously supportive as well, and they came and were there for us, our friends, and we're lucky enough to have the send-off, the funeral for her, just before, Boris put us in that first lockdown. So we had the full turnout, masses of people came. And yeah, it was a period of it was a real hard time in that sort of period of, you know, saying goodbye to Lara and then having to say goodbye to the family from being in our home because of the lockdown. It was just the two of us. And this is why this goes back to what I say about my wife and how much of a catalyst she is, because her strength, you know, we thank God for therapy as well. Therapy really helped the both of us. She's a therapist by trade as well.
Oh, is she?
She is. She's
need to have her on at some point then.
I think, yeah, I'd agree, because yeah, she's incredible. She's a psychotherapeutic counselor and coach. Her strength, her use of therapy encouraged me to also use therapy, and that really got us through that period, and allowed us to even want to think about trying again. And also around that time is when I thought about the label, and I founded the label, and I wanted the label to be something that channels or converts our trauma into creativity, to honor her through music. Initially, I wanted it to be a vessel to just house the music that I wanted to release as a producer. So around that time is when I taught myself how to produce music as well.
Oh, wow. And
it was something I was procrastinating on for years prior. But, you know, she was the epitome of life being too short. I thought now's the time as well. I also remember around that time I got this book. I was recommended this book by an American pastor called Joel Osteen, called I Declare. Oh. It's my I Declare 31 Praises to Speak Over Your Life. And it was like daily passages that I read. Shouts to Nicholas Dex, who recommended that book. I read it every day. We read it every day. For that first 30-day period we went into lockdown. Yeah. That really helped us as well, before the therapy and everything. So going back to the label, we set it up initially as a vessel to just house the music I released in her honor, right? And I'm just so thankful and grateful. It's blossomed a lot more since then. It's become about community, real sort of intention and love. You know, the people we worked with we only work with sort of heart-centered people.
I love that.
I want to shout out two of our talents, for instance, Haruna and Sweetney Ivy. They're DJ producers on the label that we look after, and we have a wider community of collaborators. We've released music with other artists as well. We've done events. You know, we just hosted our first stage with South by Southwest.
How was that?
That was incredible. That's incredible. Beautiful turnout. We're doing events internationally now as well. It's just become a beautiful vessel that channels her essence, Lara's essence. Wow. I'm so grateful.
And her legacy lives on.
It does.
And I love that you said that she had so many friends and everyone just loved her.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because that's how people feel about you. Wow. So it was like she was just you, if that makes sense. And I think it's so nice that you're able to take something so tragic and make it so beautiful, and you're still allowing people to know who she was and then actually be able to have an impact on other people's lives, which I think is so beautiful.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for sharing that, because I think that's going to touch a lot of people. And I love that you had the faith in God, even with whatever the doctor said. And you knew, do you know what? I know that she's supposed to be here, even if it's for a short while. The impact she's going to have is going to live on forever.
Amen.
And I think that's definitely happening.
Amen.
So God bless you. And your wife is, wow. The unity of you two is, even that small interaction we had before we started the podcast, I was like, wow, this is powerful. Wow, and this is a God's kingdom relationship. So that is incredible. I'm really excited to talk to you about the impact that you've had globally. I need you to tell me about this tour that you did over 5 continents.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
It was surreal. Yeah, it was wild. It just came out of nowhere almost. It was last year. Yeah. Start of the year, I didn't know this was going to happen. But it just, and it's funny because I briefly touched upon me having a science job as well.
Yeah.
So I was a scientist
Which is
for a number of years.
scientist to DJ. No one else can put that in their bio. Let me tell you that for free.
So I was a scientist working alongside the DJing. So I specialize in an area called hepatology, which is the study of the liver. So looking at liver diseases, liver cancers, we're doing clinical trials and things as well. And I worked for one of the leading research institutions in not only the UK, but the world. So I was doing that alongside the DJing for a number of years. And it wasn't until actually last year that I essentially retired from science to fully do music.
Wow.
And I feel like it was at that point that God was like, okay, now you're ready to fully go with this with this choice you made, with this passion that you've chosen, as if you will. And yeah, everything just sort of snowballed. You know, we did an Apartment Life mix, we did the Culture FM mix, and then from there we were getting bookings in Greece, in Thessaloniki, Greece. We were going to I did a writing camp with the label Lara in Colombia.
That's cool.
As well as a mini tour out there. So I was in Cali and Bogota, which is wild. You know, I went to Bali. I was in Chicago. We did, how else did we go?
You've been everywhere. You've been doing that, and then you also had a sold out show at Jazz Cafe.
Yes.
How was that for you? Was that like a pinch me moment?
It was. It really was. Because that was that was midway through the tour.
Yeah.
Came back, and it really was a pinch me moment, because seeing that many people in front of me that had literally bought a ticket just to come and see me, and I was like, wow, you guys are actually here for me.
Yep.
was like, you know, it was like such a great blessing, and it made me feel like, okay, I am doing something purposeful, you know, intentional. I'm here to entertain. I've been an entertainer ever since I was in Ghana with my granddad.
With your parents.
You know, with my parents singing Michael Jackson, you know, people buying tickets to come and see me, and it was a beautiful moment.
No, I love this. Beautiful. There's been a lot of discussion about nightclubs and nightlives, especially with a lot of clubs closing down in London. How do you feel that may have affected DJs, and do you feel like there's been new spaces created because of it? So obviously we know we have the likes of like Culture FM doing the DJ mixes, and you have Apartment Life, but you also have Recess or DLT having these moments at day parties. How do you feel that do you think there's been an impact with the club closures, or do you feel like this has been a new space that's been created for creators like yourself?
A bit of both. I feel like platforms like, say, Apartment Life and Culture FM, it's allowed them to use newer spaces for events. Or for instance, recently, Culture FM did something in the Tate Modern for us, you know, and there were 600 of us in there enjoying our music, you know, and it's not usually typically a space where we can come and sort of do that. But at the same time, there have been a lot of closures and things, but there are one or two venues that are opening up.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's allowed more DJs to be more international as well, because that was a big block, if you will, when I was sort of starting out. That wasn't even, you know, I couldn't comprehend playing internationally, you know, that's for Beyonce and the artists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, as a DJ, it wasn't really on my radar at the time. But now, for instance, some of our DJs that we look after, say Sweeney Ivy or Haruna, they've, you know, they're only a few years into this, but they've already had international tours as well themselves.
Wow.
So it's allowed people to explore new territories outside of the UK, and the internet's allowed that as well.
Yeah.
You know, social media, like the likes of TikTok, has allowed, you know, discovery for all these new DJs and things as well. So that's been a good thing to sort of compensate for the local hardships, if you will.
Definitely. And I think it's allowed African music to be on a global scale.
100%.
Because I guess before it's like if you're going to Ghana, then you'll hear Ghanaian music. If you're going to Nigeria, but now like look at Amapiano.
Yeah.
It started in South Africa.
Yeah.
But now it's global.
Yeah.
You've obviously been a big champion of African music. What drives you to keep going and being like, do you know what, I'm gonna put this on my back and make sure people know that African music is something that's so important to you?
It's not even been too, or initially it wasn't intentional, but now it's become more intentional, as it were. Like I said, I was sort of doing it out of love for the music and just sort of representing where I'm from, and in a space where I know there's similar people to me that will enjoy this as well. But now it's just a case of, I love this sound. Let me try and use the platform I've cultivated to share that, essentially. Not necessarily that I am the champion of this sound. I'm not. There's so many people doing great things within this sound, within this culture. I just want to do my small bit to help.
And you're definitely doing that.
I'm trying.
You are. And you've been able to perform with like Burner, with Stormzy. How has that been for you? Because obviously you just mentioned, you didn't think you'll be international, but you're with international artists doing these big things. How's that been for you? And how have you cultivated those relationships? I think a lot of people might see DJs as their own entity, but DJs are now as important as artists, if we're being totally frank. So how's that been for you?
It's been great. It's been organic.
Yeah.
It's been, I'd say it's a lot of the networks that I've made and the friendships I've gained along the way that have helped cultivate that, those opportunities as well. On a shout, a very good friend of mine, Irene, at UTA, who, we've been friends for years and years, and she's always just like had my back and opportunities where she's been able to plug me in. She has. And yeah, she's another catalyst in the DJ side of things that has helped me to rise, if you will.
I love that. I think people don't talk about how important relationships are, especially in this industry.
Yeah.
It's kind of like who you know, where someone will be like, I'm doing this, and then have you heard of this person? And it kind of happens that way a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So it's really great that you knew that from the beginning to be like, you know what, this has to be a community.
Yeah.
It can't just be me by myself because there's so many people like Ade Shope, for example. He's another one that is championing African music. And I think it's so great for it to be seen so much now. And it's not like different pockets, is everywhere. And also you've been part of Amapiano. How's that been for you? Yeah,
good. I mean, I love the sound. That I really fell in love with it in lockdown as well. When, we were all pretty isolated. Amapiano was the music I'd go to because it's very spiritual, it's very soulful.
Yeah.
And it was actually the inspiration for me, part of the inspiration for me to produce as well, because my music is typically African electronic, my productions.
Yeah.
I also have my first EP dropping this October, which I'm super excited about.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Have you got a title yet?
I do. It's called Love Always Resides Around Here. And the acronym is Lara, after my daughter as well. So yeah, that in itself is another blessing, because I gave myself sort of 2 weeks to get that EP started.
Yeah.
And we actually completed all 5 tracks of the EP in the 2 weeks. I want to shout out Nando's, who gave us the space, the recording studio to use for the 2 weeks as well.
Amazing.
I've kept the features only female as well, because I want to use it as a vessel to champion women in music, in honouring my late daughter, and also the growing sort of African electronic movement in the UK. So it's only female features on there. I've got some incredible artists, shouts to Merenti, Mobile, Rachel Fox and Ella Air, who are the features and artists. So yeah, look out for the music.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. Is so exciting.
Thank you.
This is everything. I'm really excited, and I think that is going to touch a lot of people. And I love that you're literally living out your passion from a pencil to the global main stage, which is exciting.
Thank you.
What are you most grateful for
in life?
Yeah.
I am grateful for my 2 daughters, Lara, and Carla, our second born. Most grateful for those two beings, my little princesses.
I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. And I think this episode is going to touch a lot of people. I want to ask you a question. What do you want your legacy to be?
Legacy? Ooh.
Because I feel like you've done, just sitting with you today, I'm like, you have done so much, but I know God has so much more planned for you. Is there anything else that you've been like, do you know what? I really want to do this, but it's not the right time, or you're planning to do it. Like now you're doing the EP, you weren't producing and now you're producing and now you've done the EP. Is there anything that you're like, you want to do that you might have been like, actually, I don't know, but you're thinking about it?
I'd say if anything, it'll be slightly outside of music. My wife and I also have a charity for children in Uganda.
Oh.
We look after orphanages, 2 orphanages in particular at the moment, one in Entebbe and one in West Uganda in Mbarara. We're creating sort of sustainable solutions for both these orphanages. We've acquired 2 properties, for instance, for one of them, so they're able to sell their own produce and generate their own income. We're funding kids going to school. And I suppose essentially at least being able to build what we've sort of intended in my wife's village in Masaka. We want to build one of the first, what we're going to call Lara libraries. So it's going to be a library in a sort of remote area in the village, which will allow the local schools to access. And also within those libraries, we want to have music studios within them. And I suppose if there is a legacy, it would be to get Kalira, the name of the charity, to a place where it's got Lara libraries that are looking after children all around the country. And I want to obviously expand that into Ghana as well and across the continent. So there's a legacy I want to leave behind, or we want to leave behind, it would be that.
You guys are doing the Lord's work.
We're trying our best.
Like, wow, I didn't know that. How can people find out more about the charity?
At Kalira Charity on socials. Yeah. Kalira.org is the website. And everything we're doing is on there essentially.
Wow. Okay. You're the gift that keeps on giving. I've learned so much about you today, and you're so inspiring. And I just want to say thank you for really sharing your story. And I know that your daughter's so proud of you because of everything that you are doing. For those that don't follow you, how do they find you on socials? And if you had to give everyone that's watching one mix to listen to really know you, what mix would that be?
Oh, one mix.
One. I can find 2. Find 2.
So it's at Larizzle official on socials. I am Larizzle on X. One mix, 2 mixes.
2 mixes.
I would say probably my recent Mix Mag mix, because that day was the day of the headline show as well.
Nice.
Yeah, the energy was just so electric that day. My Mix Mag mix, and I'd say which was with the Mix Mag mix was with Culture FM as well, and the Apartment Life mix. Okay. It's 2 contrasting mixes. One if you want to chill, which is the Apartment Life one, and then if you want to get a bit hype.
Want to be outside.
Mix Mag one, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm really excited for everyone to hear this. And God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless your family and your wonderful, wonderful wife as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Sheniece. Appreciate you.
Always.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you for listening to today's episode. We all go through ups and downs, so I hope this episode brought some comfort to you. Remember, don't get complacent during your blessings and do not give up during your battles. Please don't forget to like, follow and subscribe. I'm Sheniece Charway, and you just listened to Battles and Blessings.